And we're live.
Okay. Hi, we're live. I'm Deann. If anybody comes in that's new, I'm Deann, Shield Maiden Tarot, and today I have with me David, Tarot by the Bay. And we were just talking backstage. You said, I was telling him I started my YouTube channel about a year ago, and you've had yours for, you said, what, about 9 months?
Yeah, I started the channel on December 5th, posted up like 5 videos, then didn't do anything till January, and then January said, you know what, let's just jump in both feet, put up videos, and see what happens.
So you just, have you done a lot of videos, mostly on just tarot reading, political type things? Is that mainly what you got on YouTube doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had done any. I think the only other thing I posted up to YouTube was on my personal channel, and it was a video of a car at a car dealership. That was it.
Oh, really? So what made you decide to get into, while we're waiting for some people to show up, what made you decide to getting into the politics? Was it just because of Trump, or was it due to COVID, or?
Mostly due to Trump, because of the anxiety that man causes. I had taken tarot lessons and was suggested that I had the gift and should use it, and went ahead and finally decided, December of last year, that, okay, I'm going to set up a channel and we'll see if this thing pans out. And, I did some videos, then did nothing with it. And then just January came by. It's like, you know what? I was told this could be a very lucky year for me. Don't question it. Just do it. So I went ahead and did it. Political stuff mostly because when Trump got elected, I've turned to YouTube and tarot readers and intuitive channels because I wanted to know that this wasn't going to be forever.
Right.
And I really wanted to hear that it was going to be over, like, in a couple of weeks.
I think we all did. We all did. Just like COVID was going to be over, like a miracle, like just the sniffles, they said.
Yeah.
I think that he got a lot of us tarot readers started that, and with the COVID and being stuck in the house, and got a lot of us. And I never was into politics before this, and then I suddenly realized that it was important that I know something, after all of this. So I was going to, hi everybody, hi Elisabelle and Nancy and Becky. We're going to do some political questions. So if you guys want to just put your questions in capital letters, I'll star them. But I wanted to look and see, I wrote down some things that some of the members wanted to know that we could maybe read on. Let's see here. Roger Stone, somebody wanted to know, why was he not indicted? He convinced Trump how to spin the big lie. Has he flipped on Trump, or will he flip? He got a pardon from Trump, and will it be revoked? So let's see what's going on with him. Roger Stone.
Okay.
Elisa said, OMG, David, I'm so glad to catch you live.
I did a reading.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you both. I did a reading of Roger Stone recently. Here's the most awful thing. I do these readings, and I do a lot of them, and I don't remember a damn heck. I forget the question is. I forget the question sometimes halfway through the spread. It's like, wait a minute, what was my question again? And by the time the reading's done, half the time I don't remember some of the stuff. When I read the comments the next day, it's like, oh, I said that.
I know. I have a subscriber, Corey, who's always getting a hold of me, and he's always saying, Deann, you were right again. You said this and you said that. And I'm like, I have to take your word for it, or I have to go back and rewatch what I read, because I'm like you. I just forget it afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, Roger Stone. What's going on with? And the question is, what's going on with Roger Stone and the January 6th insurrection trials?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on down. Let's see what we got. Mr. Stone. Oh. Mr. Stone thinks very highly of himself, as you might imagine. But he also, he played a role in January 6th, and he played a big role. Matter of fact, that syncs with that video that was released of him dictating the fake electors memo days before the election had even happened. So they were already planning the takeover of the government, or the coup of the government, even before the election had started. So he's actually a really key figure in all this. Now, I know that he was livid that Trump didn't give him a pardon when Trump left the White House. So don't, and Roger Stone thinks very highly of Roger Stone. So while he maybe was making Godfather references about the Pentangeles, which is basically you better kill yourself before you rat out any of your superiors, he's the type of guy who actually would consider flipping if it saved him. Otherwise, yes, he thinks he's so important that he could get away with it because he's that clever. Cross with the magician. So key figure in this. He's a key figure in this whole January 6th fake elector scheme. He's the mastermind of it. That right there. Let's see. In the Lover's card. Wow, 3 major arcana, 1, 2, 3. The Lover's card is about the agreements he made. I don't think this is going to be an agreement with the feds because, again, I think Roger Stone is so arrogant that he thinks he can get away with it. Somehow he's going to get away with this and he's not going to be held accountable. All right, so everybody, this card has shown up. I can't even tell you how many times the Page of Pentacles has shown up in my readings the last week or two. It's a little bit bent, so maybe that's why it's getting near the top. This is now the card I've dubbed the fake election. This is Donald Trump's stolen election card. That's basically what this is coming up to. So this is about this whole thing with Roger Stone is about the fake election and the stolen election. Current situation, he's stressed out beyond all belief because he knows that Jack Smith isn't somebody to take lightly, and he's wondering about his exposure and how he's going to be able to get away with everything he's done in the background. Having that video released showing him dictating it, I don't know if he knew that video existed, and if it did, he didn't know it was going to be released. And all of a sudden, there's that vulnerability there that he did not have before. He still puts the Republican Party above everything else, and he still thinks that he's going to be able to basically land this plane and not be held accountable. But I think in his mind, I think it's wishful thinking. This is, he would have gotten away with this if this was the Nixon era because all these recording devices weren't there. And there's a little bit of a naivety that he thinks he's kind of immune to this whole system here. He's got this, it's almost like a vision board of how his life was going to turn out this year. And he needs to let go of that because it's not going to work out for him. And the outcome is the Queen of Swords. He's got a judge that's going to come down on him, and it's going to come down on him hard. This, if he flips, he's not going to get a good deal. If he doesn't flip, he's going to prison. There's just, I don't see any way out for this guy at this point. He's up to his neck in it. I don't see him getting away with anything on this one. And he's starting to realize it.
I'm getting similar. I got the High Priestess in reverse for the center of the reading. So that stands for revealed secrets. He's going to tell what he knows because I think that pardon is going to be taken away from him because he paid for it. I think a lot of people may be losing their pardons later. So he's going to go to jail if he doesn't reveal secrets. So he is very selfish and shallow. And so he's going to try to say misunderstandings and stuff like Trump does. But no, he's going to reveal secrets or he's going to go to jail. Crossing him is the World in reverse. So, this guy is just kind of empty inside. He's not going to have success with trying to get away with anything with Jack Smith. I got at the bottom, at the root of this, the Four of Wands in reverse. And so, he's not a very happy person. He's becoming unwelcome in a lot of the areas with certain people in the community that he was the Republican people. he's talking, so he's not very welcome. So he's kind of, it also can stand for divisions and separating himself from some of those people, from Trump and some of those people, Giuliani and all of those. In the past, he got the King of Wands in reverse. So it says that he was, he's kind of a impulsive, abusive person, a tyrant, much like Trump, and has a bad temper. And he's upset about some things. I feel like he got cheated on some money or something with Trump, and he's mad. He kind of is out to get them. He got the Queen of Swords in reverse. So he really doesn't have empathy for Trump or anybody but himself. He's much like Trump about that, like that. He is a manipulative person. It talks about him being sly and deceitful. In the future, I see the Six of Wands in reverse. So yeah, he's going to be disappointed. He's getting bad news. It talks about him being arrogant, and the person he followed, which is Trump, is going to say he's disloyal. So yeah, he's not going to get any recognition or rewards for the information that he's giving. I do see him as the Page of Swords in the distant future, which is somebody who is a spy or an informant, somebody who's being truthful, telling the truth about what they know, or petty gossip. So I get that, he is going to tell what he knows, because they know things about him. I do get that he will be called in for questioning. He may have already been, but will he be indicted? I don't see him being indicted, and I don't see him being convicted. I think he's going to spill his guts. He's got a lot of good information, I think, against Trump.
And I could see where we could come to different conclusions on that. He's such a key figure in it that on the one hand, it's like, how do you let the key figures off? But at the same time, you could say that he's the linchpin that gets everybody in the circle around him, because he's that well connected to it. So really, it's a free will choice at this point, and that free will choice is on Roger Stone for how much information does he give, and on the like Jack Smith, on how good of a deal are you going to give this guy to get the information he has.
Yes, and I think that's it. And I think he's going to give plenty, because he was already talking about, bad things about them in the backseat of that car. Do you remember that conversation he had? And he was running down Ivanka, and,
oh, yeah.
And he's saying, screw them. And yeah, so he doesn't mind. There's no honor among thieves.
No. One thing I wanted to clarify, were you saying he did have a pardon? Because my understanding was he wanted a pardon and did not get one. He was livid at Trump for not getting a pardon.
Well, I may be mistaken, because let me look. I thought that he had gotten a pardon from Trump. Let me look here.
He had his sentence commuted. He got convicted of other things. I forget what it was now, but he was convicted, and then he had his sentence commuted, so he didn't have to actually spend any time behind bars. And a couple months later, when he would have been, incarcerated, that's when he's dictating this memo on how to get fake electors into Congress to throw the election into a tizzy.
And if he had been Trump pardons Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, and Charles Kushner. The announcement comes as part of a wave of pardons communications in the final weeks of Trump's presidency.
Huh. Okay. I just remember him getting his sentence commuted, because I remember looking that up. And I also remember seeing that he was pissed that he didn't get a pardon.
Yeah. That's saying here that he pardoned Roger Stone and Paul Manafort and Charles Kushner. So maybe it was a crime that he didn't get pardoned for. Let's see. So we've got some questions here. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you, Roxanne. She's just became a new member on my channel. So thank you for that. Okay, let's see here. Hello, to you both. Hi, Char. Do you see any congressional Republicans getting indicted soon? I've been feeling like there will be some. Let me see. Will there be any congressional Republicans indicted? Yes. How many? 1, 2. How many? I'm feeling like 5 of them. I think MTG is going to be one of them. We'll see what you get.
The hard time from an intellectual point of view that I'm having is that, what do we define as soon? One of the things that, with January 6th, there are obviously a number of people that were in the conspiracy to overturn that election. And Jack Smith only brought the one case against Trump because that way you can just focus on the one person. Mm-hmm. And then after that case is going on or done, then you bring the next case against everybody else. And I think that's when you're going to get the congressional people like the Chuck Grassleys and the Jim Jordans and the Ted Cruzes and the Marjorie Taylor Greens of this world slammed into that. So how do I want to ask this?
Let's see how many people will be, how many congressional people will be indicted? And some of them may be just brought in for questioning to get out if they have information. How many will be indicted? I'm getting 7 or 8 people being indicted. We'll see, but... And I don't know. Let's see. Will that be this year? I'm sure it's not. Will this be this year? Will it be next year? Okay, next year. I think some of them will have to step down from their position too. I'm feeling like I felt that about Lindsey Graham. I felt like because he really should have been questioned more. They didn't have him as one of the co-conspirators, so I'm taking it he's talking. But I got a feeling they may make him step down. Because you know him, he goes whichever way the wind blows. He's going to just sing like a canary.
And Lindsey's such an enigma in as much as, is he, obviously questions about his sexuality are not much for debate in there.
Yep.
And is he really just doing all this because he doesn't want his constituents to know about his sexuality? Or is there something worse? Because if he's like totally turned himself into a human pretzel and sold his soul to Trump because he doesn't want to be outed, dude, you didn't need to do that. We all know you didn't need to do that. But as as Lena Rodriguez says, the 2 worst things that can happen to a Republican is being caught in a motel room with a dead woman or a live boy. And my concern with Lindsey is that it's the latter, not the former.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I've heard that he dressed in women's clothing too, Lindsey Graham. I forget who they said that found that out, but I think we all know he is, but I think he's in the closet and he's just not coming out. And maybe, Trump and different ones know stuff about him. There has to have been some threats because he was like, if you vote for Trump, then you deserve everything you get. And, and America's he's going to go to hell in a handbasket and we deserve it if we vote for him. Next minute, he's golfing with him and his best buddy. Then January 6th, he's saying, that's it. That's a bridge too far. And then the next minute, he's friends with him, defending him again. So he's as wishy-washy as they get.
I think he just gets reminded of the compromat that's going to get released. And then he drinks a lot and then swallows his ego and does what he needs to do. Okay, congressional people. How many congressional people are we looking at here? Queen of Wands. I don't know how to do numbers with these cards. Okay, Queen of Wands and 3 of Cups. Let's say they say 3 women get involved with this. I have a hard time believing there's that many women that make that many bad choices in this world. But you know what? It doesn't. When you start with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, you only need one more person to join that company. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronna McDaniel gets caught up in this, but she's not in Congress. She's the chair of the Republican National Committee.
Mm-hmm.
How many men? Page of Wands. 2 congressmen. God, why do we have the queen there for? There's got to be more senators. My cards are all messed up here. I'm not sure how many senators. It's got to be more than that because there were like 10 senators that were signing off. And, between Chuck Grassley and Josh Hawley. Again, my intuition tells me a dozen. There's going to be a dozen people.
You get?
Yeah. And I think probably it's going to be about like 4 to 6 senators, and then the balance being congressional people. It could be as many as 16. I guess it just depends on who makes deals and who doesn't. But I would expect Chuck Grassley when he sends out on January 5th that Mike Pence isn't going to be there on the 6th and he's going to count the votes. Mm-hmm. Boy. And then January 6th happens. You look back at that. It's like, why, Mr. Grassley, come into our office. We want to talk to you. How did you possibly know that this was going to happen? Stinks to high heaven.
And it may be that the 12 will be questioned, but maybe 7 of them will be indicted,
That's true. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I did get, for the Congress, I got the Page of Pentacles at the center of it. So I get them being, immature and lazy, which is yes, and procrastinating. They're trying to put off everything as much as they can. They're trying to help Trump to delay things, delay. That's all they're doing. Look over at Hunter, look over at Biden. So they're definitely trying to delay things. They are worried about the 8 of Swords. What's crossing them is the 8 of Swords. They're worried about going to jail themselves. They're worried about going to prison themselves, and they're paralyzed in fear. And that's why they are going, defending him so much, because they're scared of being locked up themselves. And, if they don't stand by him, he knows stuff about them too. At the root of this, I got the 8 of Cups. Some of them were going to choose to walk away or step down. They may have to abandon their seat after this. When Jack Smith questions them, they may have that choice. Let's see. In the past, I got the Queen of Pentacles. They thought that they were doing things right for our country, that they were, it's about finances. But I feel like influencing them, they're trying to have inner strength, because this is what I use to clarify it. The 10 of Swords. So they're trying to be strong. They're trying to act like they're confident, they're brave, but everybody is backstabbing everybody, and they don't know who is backstabbing them, who is told on them. So they just don't know who to trust. I get in the future, there's going to be some surprises that are going to come out about the people in Congress. We're going to get some messages about them. There's going to be the 3 of Cups in reverse. There's going to be some gossip and some scandals. And Hangman at the bottom of the deck. There will be some, sacrifices. Some people are going to make sacrifices, having to let go of their position, but there's just so much uncertainty and waiting, and they don't know what's coming. But I do feel like 7 of them are going to get indicted. Maybe more will be questioned, but some of them are going to either be threat of being locked up or leave your position, step down, because we know what you did.
Yeah, I wouldn't, again, and I think you were on this one, I wouldn't expect any Republican congressional folks to be indicted before 2024. I don't think
I didn't say it was going to be soon.
Yeah.
I said, but I said
soon's relative, right? That's the problem.
Yeah, I was thinking, I didn't check on a date on that yet, but I'll try. Will the Congress people be indicted in 2023, 2024? A lot of them, it's going to be in 2020, into 2024, 2025.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
You got a super sticker.
I did.
One of us got a super sticker.
Oh, well, thank you, Tina. You did.
I got a super sticker. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. All the beers.
So, yeah, I think these cases are going to get seen first. This is the important stuff. They're going to get the big guys first. And then once Biden is elected back in and this stuff is done, they're going to start going after the other ones.
And to be honest, I think, big picture, it's better to get the congressman than Trump. But Trump is such the figurehead of this whole movement that you want to cut the head off of the beast, because it also undercuts the MAGA movement. And if MAGA movement has no legs underneath it, it's easier to pick off these Congress people that were plotting the coup, because they don't have the support. The Republicans won't support them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get Trump. Let's get the leaders first, and we'll go after his lieutenants, as far as the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Matt Gaetzes of the world. Get them on that next wave. They're not going anywhere other than prison.
But I see MTG leaving. I see Gates in trouble. Who else? What is that one, Josh? Josh, the one who held his arms up? Josh
Hawley.
Yes. I always remember him by that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think several of them will be getting questioned.
Definitely.
Did you throw on that?
I haven't thrown on yet. You want to? Okay. Sure. Republicans getting busted. Okay. What do we have? We have 2 of Cups. So are the Republicans going to be busted? Right now, there's negotiations going on there. This might be agreements between the Republicans that they're not going to rat each other out. But I wouldn't trust another Republican to not rat me out when prison sentences are looming. So some might already be in talks with the DOJ. There's that Queen of Wands again. I think some people are taking action or considering action to take, looking out for their best interest. And I'm always struck by the sunflower, like it's like summertime. So I think some people are already taking action now, trying to protect themselves from DOJ investigations or prosecutions. But others are just making deals with other guys. It's going to be, we're going to be in the secret club, and we're going to stick together, and we're not going to get busted for this. Knight of Pentacles in the past, for a lot of these guys, it was about money. It was about money or promises of something of value. Like Jim Jordan, I think there was rumors going around that maybe he was going to be put in as the Attorney General or some wild stuff like this. Mm-hmm. But these guys and ladies that assisted in this, they were all promised something of value, whether it's money or higher positions in government or something along those lines. They were promised those things of value. Current situation, just like Roger Stone, Ace of Cups, there's a lot of stress. In some ways, in my videos that I've done with my viewers, I've thrown out there, when the indictments come, watch who loses their minds. That's not the word I use. I use the 4-letter word. Begins with an S. Scheisse, if you're like a German version of it. It's like, watch who loses their minds on this one, because those are the ones that are kind of telegraphing to you who's guilty. So currently, the ones that are guilty are being really, really vocal about it, and they're trying to stir up the base. They're trying to get people angry and protesting because they think if they can get violence and chaos on the streets, it'll get the DOJ to back down because they may not think it's worth pursuing them if the outcome is just the city's burning. But they're all doing this for Trump. Trump had promised them things, and the promises only come through if he's left unarrested and hopefully back in power in the country. So they keep going along with whatever the plan is. And what's interesting, the Night of Wands is usually kind of a slow step-by-step process. It's well thought out, but nothing in the Trump administration is well thought out. It's just kind of slapdash together like spaghetti thrown against the wall to see what sticks. So there's like a plan going forward, but the only person who has a plan is the DOJ to bring these folks down. And I think that's what this is telling me about. While they're stressing out over Trump, the DOJ is moving. They haven't stopped moving on the case. And and I don't know if they're not understanding it, but time's running out. And as time runs out, well, they're going to start getting offers they don't like. And there's stories that they tell that they told in social media, or what they told to like Fox News. Well, that doesn't line up with the facts. And if they tell the DOJ false information, the DOJ is going to look at it and say, well, here are the facts here, and we can't confirm what you're saying is true. You want to try again. And I also think that if they want to flip, they're not getting the offers that they want. Right now, underneath it all, with these agreements and the Queen of Wands is the Ten of Wands. They are at the end, and this is an incredible burden. I don't think they really understood what they were getting themselves into, and now they're starting to realize it, especially as Trump is getting indicted, because if Trump's getting indicted, they know they're next. Yes. So they will do anything they can to get Trump out of this, because if Trump can get out of it, so can they.
Make it out. Yeah. That's what they're hoping. That's what Rudy and them are hoping, is that he'll get in and pardon them. But they're saying, a lot of them are saying they're begging. Rudy was begging him for money to help with the legal bills. And I forget who it was, you might know, that came out and they were saying that if we're getting questioned and we're not getting help with our legal bills, because he got all this fund from all the money he's raised, that we're going to start hemorrhaging. We're going to be losing our homes, our cars, everything, and we're going to start hemorrhaging money, and we're going to end up having to talk. Yeah. So, so somebody had written that. One of the Republicans that was indicted had written that. So that's probably true.
It's true.
Let's see. Oh, and somebody, who was it? I wanted to tell you about Stone. Women Matter, Vote Blue, said the pardon for Stone and Manafort was for the Mueller probe, not anything in the future. I knew he got a pardon of some kind, but it was for the Mueller probe. Okay. Any ideas on the future for the QAnon shaman who was released and is back to his old tricks? Oh, they released him? Yep. I missed out on hearing that.
What's that guy's name?
With the horns and the big...
Yes.
Oh,
what's his name? Was it Justin Chansley? Is that his name? Something like that. I did do a reading on him. That's actually one of the readings I do remember. He's trying to... What I recall on him was he's trying to be a motivational speaker, and I think he tried to come out with his own line of health supplements or something along those lines. It's almost like being an Alex Jones type, but motivational speaking as opposed to conspiracy fear mongering. I didn't see him going anywhere fast. King of Swords just popped up. Jack Smith probably wants another talk with him. What's going to happen with the QAnon shaman? What's his future looking like? Okay. Well, I do say the Page of Pentacles is my election interference card. What I see is you have a young man trying to raise money. and I'm not saying a whole lot of money. He's got a little bit of money. And he's going to be working because he's trying to capitalize on his infamy and earn money off of that. In the past judgment, he did his prison sentence. We all know who the guy is. There's no doubt in our mind that when you see him out there, he's going to be in the history books. How could he not be in the history books with his costume and stuff like that? But that's in the past, and his fame is in the past. Current situation is the justice card. I think that he did his time. He's trying to raise money, but he can't necessarily be a scoundrel about raising money, if you know what I mean. He can't do Ponzi schemes and stuff like that because the government knows who he is, and he's got records on him, and he has to be really careful about the money he's raising because the Justice Department and law enforcement will be watching him. He's a convicted felon. Overarching energy is the Three of Swords, the betrayal, the backstabbing, the disappointment. I think he expected to be able to ride on basically convince the MAGA crowd and the QAnon crowd to support him and his products. It's not happening because he's not Trump. And as we all know, Trump doesn't like his soldiers to die, and he doesn't like his faithful minions to be arrested. He likes them unarrested, I guess. I don't know. He's not getting the support that he thought he should get. He is reaching out, though. He's not going to stop because I think maybe he gets enough money from the QAnon base that he can keep going, but it's not going to be the lucrative project that he was hoping it was going to be. Outcome on this one, Wheel of Fortune. I think, honestly, his 15 minutes of fame is about spun out here. And he's going to have to he's not going to get jobs as a motivational speaker. QAnon's going to die off eventually. And he's going to have to do something different. He's going to have to reinvent himself. But underneath it all, right now, he's just trying to ride the turmoil. There's a lot of people that are very anxious about Trump. They're very anxious about QAnon and the stuff it stirs up. And again, underneath it is the theft card. He's trying to ride this chaos to raise money, but it's just not working out for him. Maybe this leads to another deal for him, but I don't see him making any money on this current deal. There may be something else pans out for him later on with that Lever's card.
So does he still have a sentencing to come about, or did they already?
No, he's already done.
He's done his time?
He's done his time. He might be on probation right now, but he's done. He's in and out of prison.
Okay. Well, I got the moon in reverse. So I get about him that he revealed secrets. That's probably how he got the little amount of time that he got. And it also can stand for self-deception. He was deceived by Trump, and he deceived himself that, he thought that they could do this. They were gonna fight for Trump and take over the government. But crossing him is the Seven of Swords in reverse, which is he confessed. He confessed to what he did, and he came clean and owned up. He got caught, and he did some rethinking of maybe that wasn't the best idea, but the root of this, I got the King of Wands in reverse. It's a guy who's prejudiced, has a temper, and he is just forceful, a very forceful, unyielding person. In the past, he thought he could partner up with people, and they were all going to come together and take over the government, I guess. And influencing him is the Empress in reverse. I get that he's a really, believe it or not, insecure guy, because sometimes people who are insecure, that's why he has to wear the big horns and the big everything, look at me,
Right.
Because he really doesn't have a lot of confidence or security in himself. He has a lack of self-love, kind of empty inside. So this was something that he could do that made him feel his life was worthwhile. He was going to do this for Trump. I get in the future the Three of Wands in reverse. Him kind of holding on to the past, it's kind of a memory for him. But he's not going to go anywhere, really. He's gonna have a lot of failure in his life. This sentence is going to keep him from being able to move forward. And I feel the Ten of Cups in reverse in the distant future. He's going to be miserable. It can and some problems with his family, domestic problems. Again, low self-esteem. Still talks about him being arrogant to show off. The bottom of the deck, the Knight of Wands, lack of ambition. So I don't see him really making much of his life. I think even though he's out of prison, I think he's ruined his life. He's got a record forever. He's going to forever be remembered for this. And that's what I got.
Yeah, one thing I had forgotten was during the trial, or at some point during the trial, he had to admit that, or his lawyer suggested it'd be a good idea that he denounced Donald Trump and say, I was brainwashed into this thing. And then when he comes out, then he's saying, oh, no, I wasn't brainwashed at all. QAnon's real and all this stuff. So, the people see the hypocrisy there. Well, some people might make an excuse for him saying, well, of course he said that to get a shorter sentence because, you just got to play the game with the man or something along those lines. Most people are going to just look at him and say, he's a hypocrite. I'm not interested. There's other true patriots.
You're right. He gets out and then he wants to get on these different talk shows maybe and have the right, back him up, but the right knows what he did, that he confessed. And so, he's not going to be accepted on either side, I don't think.
No.
So let's see here. We got that one. Let's see. Police investigators. Okay. Was MTG the person who left the bomb? I think a lot of people ask that.
God, I know. I sometimes wonder if they want us to. It's like, okay, the answer is yes. I keep getting that she's not.
I get no.
Okay. Yeah.
But was it a woman? Let's see. Was it a woman, though? Was it a woman? But it was a woman. And did this person get paid? And I feel this person got paid to do this. And I think they know who it is.
Yeah.
Or have an idea.
Yep. I'll throw it on. I'll throw it on again, but I did this one a few weeks ago. But let's see. What's the status with the RNC DNC bomber? What can you tell me about the RNC DNC bomber? Should I just ask straight out, is Marjorie Taylor Greene the bomber?
Yeah.
Tell me if Marjorie Taylor Greene's the bomber. I would say the Knight of Wands is not a yes card. That's a no card. Reading on the bomber, this person's very tired and they're constantly looking over their shoulder, crossed with election interference. There's my Page of Pentacles. I'm telling you, this card comes up all the time. Page of Pentacles, crossed with election interference. They know that they are now part of the election interference campaign. In the past, oh, my cards are upside down here. In the past, we've got the Eight of Cups. I think they abandoned. They lost their mind for a little bit, or they abandoned their good judgment and did something in the dead of the night that they wouldn't have done otherwise. And now, strong feelings, strong emotions. Isn't it funny how this combo keeps coming up? We got the strong feelings because now people are starting to get indicted. Stuff is getting real. they were, I think this person was coerced into doing it. They were told everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. You're just going to do these two things. Nobody's going to know. It's in the dead of the night. Here's a little bit of money, and you're just going to be a good team player for us. And the lesson the outcome from the lesson to be learned from this is that you need to take care of yourself and you need to think about your own interests and not be convinced of impractical things. You need to be practical about things. And then the outcome from all this is the Seven of Wands, the fighting off of challenges to it. Underneath it all is the Magician. Just sort of touching back on the previous readings I've done, what I end up seeing with this is that this, thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Gwenny. I appreciate your generosity. I can't speak.
Thank you, Tina D.
The tongue gets in the way here. I think this is like an intern or a young person that was working with the campaigns. Whether I don't know whose campaign, but it would not surprise me if Marjorie Taylor Greene knew who this person was, or if this person worked in Marjorie Taylor Greene's office, and they were convinced to do this, and basically said, "Don't worry about it. You'll do this. It's not a problem. You're going to be a patriot. You're helping save the country and all that." And they did it, and I think the FBI has known for a while who this person is, and I think the FBI reached out to this person to discuss the issue and showed them the evidence that they had. And I think what I came away with at the last time were two things. One, we haven't heard about this person yet because they're going to be in that next wave of indictments.
Yeah.
And I think the second thing was, and consider this person could be wearing a wire.
Oh, yeah.
And because you can picture how the DOJ is going to look at this, or the FBI is going to look at this. It's going to be like, we know you did this. We could put you in prison for 12 years for domestic terrorism, or you can wear a wire, and and basically do not let people know that we know that you did this, and you're going to wear this wire, and you're going to collect information for us, and you're going to be a mole, for the next couple years. Think about how much data they could have collected if this person was a mole. And the Republicans may not, and again, another card that just popped up, the hostage card, they're holding her hostage. I believe it's a woman. They're holding her hostage because they can get lots of information from her, and the GOP won't expect it because they think this person's loyal, and they wouldn't go confessing to it because they're a terrorist.
Yes. Oh, I was, as you were doing that, I was doing my pendulum, and I got, yes, they do know. And yes, they are. This person is helping them. I believe you're right on that.
Yeah.
I get this person, well, as far as Marjorie Taylor Greene, I asked if she did it. I got the no card. But there was heartbreak that happened because of this. And again, with it's crossing it is the Three of Cups. There was a lot of gossip and scandals. We've all been talking about who did it, trying to figure out who did it. But let's see. Marjorie Taylor, I got the Empress in reverse. So I'm trying to think of what this one is. This lack of progress. A lack of progress. They weren't able to get done what they wanted to done. There was some negligence there. This person in the past was the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So this is an immature person. It's this procrastinator. Maybe they didn't do it right or took too long. But I feel like the people that are looking, Seven Pentacles, they are making progress. I think they know, and they're looking at what everybody did, and they're getting one person at a time. Mm-hmm. And I think she is helping them, because I got in the future the Knight of Pentacles, with her being, bringing something forward slowly, but being committed to it. Slow but steady, hardworking. This is a person that's committed because to save her, but she's going to give them what she can about the other people. And I got in the future, distant future, I got the Eight of Pentacles. They're working on it, and they're going to accomplish. They're going to find out. They're working on finding every person that was involved in this. And I do think that she is helping them. And I do think it's a woman, and I think they know who it is. So yeah, I'm getting the same thing there about that. And I tried the pendulum to see if they're working with her, and I got yes.
Okay. First off, Tierra Bear, thank you very much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. MK, you're a riot.
What did MK say?
I said, first off, we all agree it was someone, but then later on saying, seems we all think it was a female, so they can't blame Bigfoot.
I don't know. Female Bigfoots, maybe?
We'll have to ask Sterling, those shape-shifting Bigfoots.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. What is this one? Will these investigations reveal the 2016 Elector criminal votes?
God, yes.
Will these investigations reveal the 2016 Elector criminal votes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting a big yes on that one.
Yeah, they will. It's not the thing with that though is that's kind of second tier, if you know what I mean. It's like you've got the fire in the house and stuff like that, and now once the fire's out and they've got the arsonists, they're going to look to say, okay, who was driving around the block before starting this whole problem? Who got these guys going? And I think as part of their investigation into this, they start uncovering the rest of the story with the 2016. And I think this leads into Linda G's prediction that they find Trump to be an illegitimate president.
Yes. I feel like that's going to be after he passes, but I don't know that that's going to be a long time, unfortunately. I'm not wishing that on him, but I just think this is the stress of all this is going to get to him with the way he eats, with the way he is an angry person. But I do feel that will come out eventually after he's gone.
And I think the other thing that, just to put a pin in something like this, how Trump and his crew were losing their minds over these voting machines, and they wanted to get these voting machines and look into them. Think about this for a second. If the Republicans knew that they had the ability to hack voting machines, and maybe have been doing so for a while, and all of a sudden they didn't get districts they were expecting to get, and their first thing isn't to think, oh, a lot of Democrats showed up. It's who thwarted our voting machines. So to me, it's like one of the reasons they want to get in the voting machines, they want to know if the software that they put in there or the virus they put in there is still working properly.
Yeah, I agree, because everything they say is projection. You know, if they accuse you of doing it, you can be darn sure they're doing it themselves.
Right. And the fact that they're just so focused on these things and want to get their hands on the voting machines. And then you can take in, now I'm forgetting the guy's name. He was the head of the election security. He was the one that Trump fired after he made the comment that this was the most secure election in history. You can think of that from the perspective of if you were that guy and you knew that there were hacker attacks and software that was inserted in these machines, and you secretly got that stuff removed and blocked the hacker attacks to prevent the election from being stolen. And then you're going to give a nice little veiled, smug, arrogant poke at the bear. Yeah, it was the most secure election ever. Kind of the, F you, pal. We know what you're up to, and I'm letting you know that I know what you're up to. Yeah. And then all Trump can do is fire him, because that's all he's got left.
That's all he knows how to do.
And it was glorious.
Well, let's see. We got Lady Leo wants to know, what do you see regarding the text Jack got from the Secret Service agents? Good stuff happening. See, now I have been, you guys forgive me, I'm usually more up on this, but I have, my house has been kind of falling apart around me. I've been dealing with some stuff, so I've kind of gotten behind. So what were the text chat got?
In this case, thank you. First off, Lady Leo, thank you very much. Chris Krebs is the name of the person who was heading up the election security. Actually, I think it's more that they got 3.1 emails from the Secret Service. There's and when Jack Smith had his indictment, was it Jack Smith? It was Jack Smith's indictment of Trump. It basically, in the filing, it said that they had 3.1 emails from the Secret Service, and that was part of the documents that Trump and his company were going to have to go through as part of discovery. I don't know if they've recovered the text messages. Now, the text messages were like on January 5th and 6th, all the Secret Service text messages were deleted. And they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to be kept. They were told to be kept, and they got deleted afterwards. And nothing screams, there's nothing suspicious to look at here than the Secret Service deleting all their text messages. Totally on the up and up, you know. No conspiracy theories whatsoever. Okay.
All the stuff they said about Hillary, lock her up, and about the deleted things and all this. And nobody pleads the fifth unless they're guilty. Why would anybody plead the fifth unless they're guilty? I says it's just coming to all bite them back in the butt, isn't it?
Right in the butt, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Well, first off, will the Secret Service did Jack Smith and the DOJ, did they actually get the text messages? Knight of Cups. This could very well be this could be the false knight. Somebody going forward and not being truthful. These texts were deleted. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But maybe when they said they were deleted and not recoverable, that may not be a true statement. And okay, changing up a little bit. This is asking for those text messages. Oh, they're all deleted. They did it on purpose. Absolutely, 100% did it on purpose. This is, if we don't do this, we're going to prison, and this is for all the marbles. We cannot be found guilty of this. And the punishment for deleting the text messages is way lighter than the consequences if the DOJ and the FBI got a hold of those text messages. Underneath is the Page of Wands. It was an action that was done quickly without a lot of planning. So they weren't surgical in their removing of text. They just obliterated everything, which of course calls attention to it, right? You can't ignore it because it can't be ignored. In the past is the Hangman. Again, they were willing to the members of the Secret Service were willing to forego country to help Trump out. And when those text messages were asked for and they assessed what they were like, willing sacrifice. They were willing to sacrifice and plead guilty to deleting government records for whatever punishment that is, because it's going to be 1/10 of what the punishment would have been had they actually released those records. Current situation is the Fool. They might think they got away with it, that they're scot-free. I'm not so sure. Let's see how the rest of the cards pan out on this one, because they did it quickly. They didn't have a big plan on this one. They deleted everything. They think they're going to get away with it. I don't know. Let's see what the overarching says. Queen of Wands. There is action afoot looking into this. Part of it is you send these records to the cloud, and there's going to be backups. Now, depending on what they obviously didn't delete them on January 5th and January 6th. It happened weeks later that these got deleted. So there is very possible that if you're imaging the cloud servers or something along those lines, I'm using words that I don't know what they mean. I've heard them. It's possible that copies exist. It's literally, can you get back into the server and piece things together? The other thing to look at also is, they might have deleted the text messages from their official phones, but they probably, every once in a while, somebody probably on their own personal phone was sending stuff or copying stuff. So they might be able to get in, backdoor some of those messages and fill in the gaps from personal cell phones or personal communications. Lesson to be learned is the Two of Swords, crossroads. The choices you make and the consequences of those choices. What's going to happen? Now they're stuck with them. They are stuck with their choices, and they're held hostage to it. It's funny. In some ways, some of those messages might have exonerated some people and helped some people's cases, but now they can't do that. And if they find them, these guys are screwed. They are absolutely screwed. And I think that basically with these two cards here, if the FBI and the DOJ get a hold, somehow can recover those text messages, they are going to be ruthless when it comes to sentencing, prosecuting and sentencing. They're going to be absolutely ruthless because of this card. Because you want to play to win, well, guess what? It cuts both ways. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, let's see here. So these were Secret Service texts that got deleted that were not supposed to. So I got the 9 of Cups in reverse. So they're upset that they lost all this, kind of emotional. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like that caused them some setbacks, so it's unfinished work. This is stuff that they're going to have to go after and try to get. The root of it, they have the stars, so they have faith and hope and positivity that they're going to be able to get this information. In the past, it is a burden. They were trying to let go of that burden, get rid of these messages. So they were trying to get rid of those, I'm seeing, and influencing them. And I got that they couldn't move forward with those because the Chariot. So this is not being able to move forward in misdirection and feeling powerless, not knowing where to look. I feel like there's some choices that are going to, with the 2 of Swords, there's some choices that are going to have to be made. They're trying to figure out what to do about this, but I do see in the distant future, King of Cups, somebody bringing in that information to them. Somebody, 2 of Pentacles, who's balancing getting the resources and the flexibility to be able to give those messages to them. So I'm asking, will they get back those messages? I'm getting yes. I think there's somebody they're going to be able to get. Whoever deleted them didn't delete them properly, and they can still get to them. Just because you delete something on your computer doesn't mean that experts can't go in there and get it back out. I hear nothing is really ever truly deleted. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but if anybody can find out, the government could. So you're feeling like they're going to find those two?
I think so. I think they will. I do think they will. Maybe I'm just being overly optimistic, but I really do think they're going to get that. Again, I make a comment about them nibbling around the edges with some stuff, but I do think that they're going to get it. Somebody, they got a lot of clever people that work at the NSA and the CIA and such.
Yes.
You got to be able to there's got to be a way they can figure this out and get this
How many people have deleted stuff off of their phone, off of their computer to keep out of trouble, and they've still gotten it back? So I think they will.
And you can think about it like this. The NSA isn't exactly going to advertise that they've hacked into the Secret Service's server and has all of the Secret Service information, right? That's not something that they want to advertise. But maybe it's something that we find out. I'm just as bad a conspiracy theorist as the rest of folks out here. Tell you what.
Tell Tina, I want to tell Tina, thank you for the super sticker. And Gwynny, thank you also. And we'll do one more question, and then we probably better go. Our hour will be up. But I'm enjoying. Oh, and we got another one here too.
Tierra Bear.
Tierra Bear. Yes, that's awful nice of you guys. So will Trump make a deal and flip on anyone? Most, I feel yes, without touching anything. But let's see. Will Trump make a deal and flip on anyone? He's going to blame his lawyers. He's going to throw Giuliani and Eastman under the bus. But will he flip on anyone? He has no loyalty to anybody but himself. So right. I feel yes, we can throw some cards on it.
Yeah, but my thing is, will he flip on anyone? Yes, anyone and everyone. Will he make a deal? Now there's the question, because I don't see him making a deal, because making a deal kind of, the only deal he would make is he was totally exonerated of all charges, and there was a huge essay saying it was all a witch hunt all along. That's like the only deal he would ever take.
Because when I ask, will he make a deal, I get no. But will he flip and blame other people?
Oh, hell
absolutely.
Yeah. So, I'm surprised your pendulum should have been doing loops.
Probably would have if I held my arm up a little longer. But yeah, I feel like you. I feel like he will flip on Eastman, Giuliani, anybody, everybody. It's going to be their fault, not my fault. I did what my lawyers told me to do.
Will he make it? Will he make a deal? No, he won't. There's sorrow, disappointment. Things didn't work out. No, he won't make a deal. He just won't. This is a no card on this one. Why won't he make a deal? Because he always has hope that he's going to land on his feet. These cups are down, but I got 2 cups left. I can still do this. He's always thinking about what his next move, his next move on how to get out of being held accountable for something like that. And he always plays to win, and with nobody else winning. So, and that was something that Giuliani, and there's a big burn there. That was something Giuliani mentioned, that Trump is the only person that he ever met, and he was talking about this a decade or more ago, that when you make a deal, everybody leaves a bit happy. Trump is not happy if anybody leaves happy. He's only happy if he gets like all the marbles and nobody else gets anything. That's his happy spot. He doesn't make deals because he always thinks he can get away with it. He always thinks he won't be held accountable. He always thinks he can delay it, and Judgment Day never comes. That's why he never makes deals, because if you make a deal, that means Judgment Day arrives, and he always avoids that. And if he's like with E. Jean Carroll, for instance, he's found guilty of sexual assault. The judge has to make special arrangements to make sure that money's put aside, because first thing he's going to do is not pay. And if you're not paying, you haven't lost. You know what I mean? Because he values his money. Now let's see. Will he flip anyone? Will he flip on anyone? Oh man, let's see what yes cards look like.
Thank you, Gigi Woodlawn, for the super sticker.
Would he flip on anyone? Absolutely, in a second, because it's winner takes all with him. It's winner takes all. And when is this person still useful to me? And the minute they're not, they're gone. He's a liar. He's a con man. He's a false friend. He's like, oh yeah, you're totally loyal. He wants that loyalty. He gives none back. And you got all these young people that are they sell their souls for this guy. They race to his rescue, and he throws them under every damn bus. I do not understand this. It's just like somebody who, best way to describe it, Trump is like that really, really toxic boyfriend or toxic girlfriend, and their ex-boyfriends or girlfriends always are coming back to him. It's like, why? Why are you going back to that narcissistic, toxic person? What is it? I guess they just feel like they're special. They're going to be the one who makes the difference. Walt T. Nott is the latest. No.
They should be able to see everybody he touches. Everybody, he's the opposite of the Midas touch. Everybody he touches gets burnt, loses their law license, ends up in jail, ends up not getting paid. If they look back at his history, they'll see what kind of guy he was. But I don't get it. I have a lot of people that I know that love him, and I just can't understand it. I got as far as about him flipping. Well, Two of Swords. He's got a choice to make. They're going to give him some choices to make. He's going to deny. He's got the blindfold on. He's going to deny. Wasn't me, didn't do it. Crossing him as the King of Swords in reverse. So he uses intimidation. Crossing him is what he does is he's violent. He uses intimidation. He's irrational. He's cold. He's ruthless. So that's why he can't get anywhere. This is just who he is. He can't change. At the root of it, Four of Swords in reverse. I don't think he's getting any rest. I think he's burnt out. He's getting burnt out. And I think he's starting to awaken to realize I could go to jail. I don't think he ever really thought he could, but I think he's starting to kind of start to see. In the past, I got the Hermit for him with the flipping, he's just self-pity, rejection, he's just, this poor, pitiful me feels sorry for me. Well, I make a deal. Okay. And I see influence in him, greed, greed, being materialistic. He's possessive, just like the documents, they're mine. I see that he has in the future Seven of Swords. He's going to continue to deceive people. He's going to continue to be two-faced and manipulative. And in the distant future, regarding all this, I see the Five of Wands. They're all going to be, fighting with each other, every single one of them. There's going to be arguments and tensions. It's just a big clash of egos. And he's just, I see him with the Nine of Wands being guarded. He's just guarded and tired. But I do not see him making a deal, because he's going to, the entire time, it's his ego. It's the fighting in his ego. He's going to blame everybody but himself for this. So, but he will flip. He just won't make a deal because he's innocent. It was the perfect phone call. It was the perfect, love was in the air January 6th, like he said. The perfect day. You believe that? Love was in the air. It was so full of love.
Man,
I don't know what he does not know the definition of love, apparently.
Apparently not. But it's also funny to see how limited his vocabulary is. Everything's the biggest, the best, the shiniest,
tremendous,
the newest.
Yeah. Tremendous. And bigly, witch hunt, hoax, fake news.
Yeah.
Alternative facts. These are words that I have never heard so much in my life and hope to never hear again after he's gone.
The other thing I find is funny is his idea of disrespecting somebody. I've never met them. I don't know who that person is. I've never met them. It's kind of like it's like, my father hated being humiliated. So when he would punish us, it was usually through humiliation. So we tend to project the things we dislike. What that tells me about Trump is people who just pretend like they don't know who he is. That's like the most ultimate insult to him, is to basically cut him off at the knees. Like, who are you again? You're a nobody. Basically telling him he's a nobody is the most hurtful, infuriating thing that can happen. So, knock on wood, as karma starts delivering accountability to Mr. Trump there, watch to see if it diminishes him as a person to the point where he's a nobody. No money, no social media presence. He's just some bitter, angry old man wearing adult diapers and muttering racist things at the walls.
Yep, somebody's old drunk uncle, And
Pretty
they
much.
say that, if they wouldn't put him in the media so much. I just will be glad for the day when the media just quits covering him. Because good or bad, he thinks of it as publicity, So, but I wanted to ask you, so our hour's up, you guys. If I didn't get your question, we'll maybe get you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be on with Danny Shea and Jen's World. And so we're going to be kind of doing, I think we might be doing a combination of personal and what you call it, political. And then on the 2nd, I'm going to have my first members chat on my channel. That's on Saturday the 2nd, and that'll be at 7 p.m. So what do you got going on your channel?
You know what? I just started a Facebook page for my channel, and I've started putting up. I've like on Saturday and Sunday recorded a bunch of videos. I have videos all the way through Friday, I think, already recorded for this week, and then I reserve the right to jump on and add a timely video, like somebody had asked about hurricanes or weather in the South. So I did one. I did a thing on hurricanes, and I posted up, and it was going to go up on Wednesday. And I saw the news today that, oh, there's a hurricane barreling down on Florida right now. Let's move that one up till tomorrow, because let's make it a little bit more timely on that. Now, if like there's news with Trump getting his court case set, so I might do a video tonight just talking about the March court case for that and how Trump is feeling with that. And then tomorrow I'll put out 3 videos instead of 2.
You're busy. So do you do personal readings?
I don't do personal readings. Every once in a while, somebody might reach out to my page and ask me a question, and I'll throw on that and give an answer on it. But it's kind of, to me, I feel like if they reach out to me personally, they probably need some assistance. But I'm not set up to do it right now. Part of the reason is that I do work Monday through Friday from about 7 or 8 in the morning till about 5 at night. So I don't have the bandwidth for it at this point. Between that and actually doing the readings that I keep going to keep the channel rolling, at some point I need to spend some time with my wife and show her some attention, lest she thinks she's a YouTube tarot widow.
Same way. That's why I got a little behind on the politics. I got the puppy, and we had the basement. It flooded. We've been taken care of, and a tree fell on our house, and my brakes went out, and dentist appointments, and the brand new puppy, all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying to keep informed, you guys, but I get behind a little bit sometimes. So it was so nice having you on. If you guys are not subscribed to David Tarot by the Bay, you really should be. Go to his channel. He is awesome. He has awesome readings. I love the way he does his spreads and the way he shows you with the camera. Do you have 2 different cameras for that, or do you just flip your camera downward?
I've got a web. I'm about to pull it down to show you, but that's not going to work. I've got a detachable webcam, and I've got it clipped onto the back of my laptop. And as you lower it down, it's got a wide enough angle view that it can show. I have a mat in front of it, so I can do the spread on that one. But it's just a little nice camera that sits on the top there.
Okay. I'm going to need to get one of those, because that's kind of nice, that you can kind of flip it down like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us. Appreciate you. And thank you, David, so much for being on. And don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe. When I get to 4,000, I'm giving away 4 free half-hour readings. If you're interested in membership on my channel, it's in the chat. I've got the link in the chat and in the description page. I've got David's link in the description page and in the chat. So if any of you want to go to his channel, I'd recommend you do. He's awesome. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you. And thank you for having me on again. I really do.